The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
This is Haymaker Combat Sports. Hear it here, coming straight from the source. Only with the real, they ain't here to dress it up. Sweet science, MMA, you can get it all from us. Trust, 5 stars cause it's live. And through the fight game, we can guide ya. Slick talking, putting them in caution. Passing all the goals cause the audio is awesome. What you waiting for? Spread the word, tell a friend. This the podcast where all of the discussion ends. When they start going strike for strike, this the show that'll tell you what you seen in the fight. And they ain't playing on the mic, this a welcome to the show. Warm it up for the squad, Haymaker of the bros. I'm about wow, you can hear from the pros. It's Haymaker Combat Sports, time to roll.
Welcome to Haymaker Combat Sports, powered by Belly Up Sports Media Network. I'm your host, EJ Reed, joined by my fellow host, Aaron Admire, Steve Johnson. What's up, fellas?
Welcome back. I am so happy to be here.
What's up, Steve?
Pretty good. Feels like it's been a while, but we're back.
Kind of seems like it's been a while, but not that long because it's been a while since we did a recap show. But me and Admire did a little emergency pod when the PFL MVP news broke out. Talked a little boxing last week as well. But yeah, it's been a while since we've done like a MMA show. So like Admire said, it is good to be back. And what you been up to, Admire? Because we didn't really shoot the shit on the emergency pod. And summer is coming, kind of winding down. So
yeah, man, life has actually thrown me a big curveball since we last had a show. Been crazy. My girl had surgery. She had a little thing inside of her, so she had a surgery. So she was in the hospital for like a week. So I lived in the hospital with her for like a week. While we were in the hospital, my mom was driving my daughter home. My mom had a stroke while driving my daughter. They got in a wreck. Like, it's been madness for like the past month, man. So I'm not joking. I'm glad to be back here. This is like a break for me. Everybody's good. Everybody's on the mend. I'm back to work. Like, everything is good.
I was going to ask someone, I'm hoping everyone's all right.
Yeah. Everybody's good. Everything's back to normal in my house and my family.
Well, send my best wishes to your entire family. I'm glad that you said everybody's all right. So I'm guessing since that happened, I'm guessing you hadn't been out to the lake or anything since you had to deal with that.
I've been to the lake this year. I think I've been in my pool like twice, man. Like, it's just been a crazy summer with everything.
And it's been like flaming hot outside recently.
It is hot as shit outside.
Yeah, I don't know. This is like the dog days of summer too. I know school's starting back up. I know your daughter's probably going back to school. What grade is she in again?
She starts high school this year. She's a freshman.
That's what's up. And I know your kids are going back to school too, Steve. What grades are your kids in again?
Oh, yeah. Well, the highest is 7th grade, and everybody else is under. Well, and in between, probably. And it's crazy because I still probably got 2 kids left who still need to be put in education when they get old enough. But yeah, I got a lot going spread across middle school and elementary.
Yeah, so y'all all over the spectrum. And damn, I got high school. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. But high school is pretty good out there in the Kansas City or St. Joe area, I guess.
Yeah, in our area, it's pretty good.
That's what's up. Yeah, for some reason, I agreed to be an assistant coach for flag football for a 5th and 6th grade team for some reason. One of my fraternity brothers is the head coach. And it's going to be stretched out until the end of September. I'm like, my Mondays are going to be dealing with practice. And I'm like, why did I agree to do this? But I guess so far, so good. They're not the most athletic kids, but hopefully none of them are watching this. I don't think they'll be able to find me. But, they put in some effort. So we'll see what happens the first game next week. But other than that, football season around the corner. Combat sports is a good way to pass the summer by. And like we always do on these preview shows, let's talk about some news stories inside or outside of the cage. This one is outside the cage. News broke out, this broke out on July 27th. former, recently retired MMA fighter and now analyst Anthony Smith is facing criminal charges for allegations of an incident involving his wife. Reports said, because there has been some updates since it initially came out. This is from CBS Sports. It said he threatened to kill his wife, attempting to run her over with a car, forcing her into a vehicle. He was arrested on that Monday, the 27th, in Nebraska. He's booked on 3 charges. These are three big charges: attempted first-degree domestic assault, terroristic threats, and false imprisonment. And it allegedly started with an altercation in a bar in Greta, Nebraska. It sounds like the sticks out there. Threatened to kill his wife if she didn't go home with him before grabbing and pushing her into a vehicle, according to the attorney's office. The investigators claim Smith's wife escaped the vehicle, after which Smith tried and failed to strike her with the vehicle. So that's pretty heavy stuff. He granted him a $500,000 bond, so that's pretty steep. And he's scheduled back in court on August 17th. So what are your thoughts on this story now that the dust is kind of settled a little bit, Admire? Because we hadn't been back since it broke out, so it's kind of missed our radar when we were last on. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, man, I would like as soon as this happened, like I was trying to keep up with it. It's wild, you know. We just had his retirement that we talked about, and then I hate when stuff like this happens because people automatically go, "Oh man, you know, he's a fighter, so he's violent automatically." And then people go to, "Oh, he probably got hit in the head too many times, CTE." They automatically assume that, you know, and then you know which wrestler they automatically bring up as soon as that happens. You know, they go to the Chris Benoit jokes and bring that shit up. So I hate anytime this happens and it's not good. But what's interesting that the story that you just read didn't mention that I seen. Now, I don't know if I didn't see anything after. I don't know if this is true, but one of the first posts I seen about this, a girl was commenting saying, "Hey, this is Anthony's daughter." And it wasn't anything like what's being told. It wasn't a domestic issue. It wasn't him doing this and that. It was actually kind of a mental health issue. And, it was more self-harm than him trying to hurt somebody else. So that's what's really going on. All these reports are false. That's what I seen. I never really followed up anything else after that day.
Okay. I'm going to put that part of the story on pause for a second before I want to get Steve's thoughts first, actually. What are your thoughts on this, Steve?
Yeah, people were disappointed hearing this. Anthony Smith, anytime you see any of the UFC fighters on the panel, and I don't know why his name jumps out of my head.
Talking about War Machine?
Well, yeah, that's another example, but I was saying more of people who are not commentators.
Dustin
Poirier, the Chris Weidman. Oh, man, you're on a roll today. Yeah, that's another example of people similar situation of domestic abuse or situation. I said, be it on the panel. What's the guy? He's on the panel. He has orange hair.
Paul Felder.
Paul Felder, yeah. And it's crazy a person of that stature is in a situation like this because he's in front of people a lot, as a high position, as a job at the UFC. Yeah. And then after that, many people pulled up a fight with Johnny Walker. And in that fight, he was saying, "You're attacking my family." And Johnny Walker was like, "What? And it's crazy because, this situation popped up. You wonder if people are saying he's fighting his inner demons. Because what of a coincidence he was saying that in a fight, retrospect, we thought it was to give him motivation, but, something must be in the back of the head to not have stableness to lose your whole position as a UFC fighter and a household name. And man, it doesn't look good for the company either, although they're going to be fine, right? But you don't want to put one of your fighters in the front and have him in a situation like this.
I didn't know Chris Weidman got into trouble for something. You mentioned that earlier.
No, not Chris Weidman. I was talking about people on the panel, put on the forefront, like Chris Weidman, Paul Felders, you know, on the front desk, people's commentating. I mean, I think that's a prestige job to get in the UFC, retired or unretired. So I think he messed up with a good, so to speak, a job after you retire to do something after fighting.
Yeah, definitely. So back to what you said, Admire, about him possibly trying to harm himself or whatnot. I don't know. The math ain't mathing on that one because, you know, mental health is a issue that needs to be focused on in this day and age. But the charges he got charged with and like the reports just don't add up that it was him trying to harm himself. You don't think that maybe his family is trying to save face so he doesn't get in trouble? Because he was trying to harm himself, he wouldn't get charged with a false imprisonment and terroristic threats.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be evidence to be able to be charged with that, you know. So definitely, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I think you're right. It's probably them trying to kind of lessen the blow of it because they know exactly like what you just said. Like that's his livelihood, you know, commentating and, you know, being kind of a, you know, related to the UFC. So if you lose that, you kind of lose that paycheck. To follow up on something you did say a little bit earlier, I checked out that town. It's a town of 9,000 people in Nebraska. It's 10 miles outside of Omaha, so it's right outside the big city.
So basically, it's like a suburb. So it probably kind of could still be the sticks, but, you know, it's pretty close to a bigger city as far as Nebraska goes. But you talked about the CTE thing where people go quick to that. MMA is such a new sport. I don't think there really have been a whole lot of studies tying with CTE, and people are quick to, you know, tie people's behavior with that or former fighters' behavior with that if they get in trouble for something like that. Do you think that sometimes people will just use that as like a default or a defense mechanism, and it might just be somebody just being a piece of shit? I mean, because Anthony Smith, for the most part, is known as a good guy, but we don't know how these people are behind the scenes. So you think people are too quick to rush to the CTE thing, Admire?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's just, you know, they're grasping at straws, and that's just one thing to latch onto, you know. And you're right. I mean, you don't know how these people are behind closed doors. You don't know how they are if, you know, they happen to drink, get drunk, if they, you know, if they're on extracurricular substances. You just don't know how somebody reacts. So, you know, we've learned other things about other fighters, how they are when they take certain things or if they drink, or we found out some are, you know, abusers behind closed doors. So there's a million different things it could be. You know, you just gotta wait for all the facts to come out to find which one it is, you know, with him. If this is, you know, the first time that it's ever happened and his family comes out and can prove this is the first time it's never happened, he wasn't drunk, he wasn't high, this was just out of nowhere, then hey, I'll listen to the CTE argument. But if there was any drugs, alcohol, or history of this happening, you can't really blame it on CTE until there's evidence of CTE.
I don't think it has officially been reported, but I'm hearing that he was pretty intoxicated at the time. So take that for what it's worth. But what do you think about the CTE excuse, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was a pretty extreme what he did. Usually somebody has CTE. I mean, they probably would do something severe before they do something ultimately crazy. I mean, this is I mean, he could be drunk and then sobered up and say, "What did I do?" Luckily, nothing happened. From what I hear, like we said, it all could be rumors, but I'm hearing it was an altercation with his wife, and you know, at the bar, people were drunk, and she, so to speak, didn't want to leave. So I think that led to one thing or other. I don't know if that's true. It's allegedly, but that's what I hear. But the good thing is, you know, maybe they're doing, what do you say, so to speak, basically cleanup work.
Damage control.
Damage control. That's what I was looking for. His wife did, I think, will send out a whatever social media tweet or whatever, and basically showing positivity. Wasn't showing discussed it with him. Just know they said that he's a loving person. He said he would never hurt us. I think it was and it's crazy. This is not the only scenario. I think it was a better letter, and I don't think it was bad than Tony Ferguson's wife when he kind of spazzed out. I think he got a more fair shake as far as his wife. Probably drunk. They probably forgive him. She's a successful man. So I bet you she's doing I forgot already. Cover up or not cover up,
Damage
clean
control.
up, damage control. Yes.
So, Admar, you might be more knowledgeable than me on this, but as far as CTE goes, can they study somebody who's still alive? I thought they had to wait till you're dead and then look at your brain.
Yep, that's the thing. It can't be studied until the person's dead. So that's why there's not a big, like knowledge on it yet. I mean, there still isn't. I mean, they've known CT's a thing forever. They just don't know that much about it. Like you can only study the dead, and I mean, but one common thing you'll see is a lot of these people that get accused of having CTE. It's usually a drunk thing that happens. They get drunk and it turns to a violent thing. A lot of times it's with a gun. So, I mean, it does get accused of being the problem a lot of the times.
Yeah.
CTE, I think it was it Junior Seau, the football player that shot himself in the chest?
Yeah, so he could get studying. His brain was riddled with CTE.
Yeah. Yeah, he did it on purpose, shot himself in the chest so that his brain could be studied. Like he was self-aware that he had it.
Even with when I think they did an autopsy on Aaron Hernandez, the Patriots murderer, I think they found it in his brain too. I think they pretty much found it with all of those football players that died early, and might have been some that have been more mild than other cases, but I found a little bit. I mean, your brain keeps getting hit in the head, so I wouldn't be surprised if, God forbid, some of these MMA fighters die early, that they may have some traces of it as well. But I still don't think that could be an excuse unless it's like extreme CTE. Like it sounds like it's more, being drunk or some type of intoxication. But somebody who weighed in on this arrest, the boss, CEO Dana White, he was surprised by Smith's arrest. Though informed of domestic issues involving Smith, White clarified that he was not caught up on specific details. Go figure. But when he was at the fight night, he said, well, he's one of those guys, too, that you don't expect to see that happen. He told the Mac Life. But personal experience, it can happen to anybody. So I don't even know enough about it. I don't know about the details. Say what? He said it can happen to anybody? Well, I'm almost 99% positive it's not going to happen to me. So sounds like he's just trying to say that because some certain person got involved with that back in the day. So what do you think about his comments, Admire?
Yeah, because it can happen to anybody because it did happen to him. I mean, I think he just didn't want to say too much because, online could, everything stays on the internet and lasts forever. So, I mean, it would have backfired on him if he said too much, for sure.
What do you think about White's comments, Steve?
Oh, yeah, you don't throw rocks in a glass house. I'm pretty sure what he did wasn't 15 years ago, and then people forget it. Even a person at his statue, people would still remember. Yeah, man. Similar situation, and even that we have a footage of him. Like Admar said, it's on the internet. It's lasts forever. We probably look that up right now and see Dana White give his loved one a backhand. So I mean, he can't talk.
Admar, has there ever been any updates on like his status of his job on the desk on the panel?
No, not that I've seen. I haven't seen much around it since it happened.
Do you think he will be kept on as an analyst?
I would say he's going to be gone for at least a year. He might pop back up in a year if everything's cleared and he's found not guilty. But if he does any time or gets found guilty, you probably won't see him again.
If I'm not mistaken, Steve, didn't Dustin Poirier lose his endorsement once he got in trouble or something like that?
Definitely. I think he had one.
Bud Light?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if Anthony Smith had any endorsements, but I don't know. You think he'll be gone from the desk? Anthony Smith will be gone from the desk, Steve?
Yeah, I think for sure. I mean, maybe there's some job security. He beat some cases, but I mean, he's gonna be, I don't know, maybe some community work. I highly doubt it. I mean, to me, I think MMA culture, I think there's even an underground to where people even make fun of Anthony Smith. Not make fun, but prefer him as a commentator or a for the sport. I mean, I don't think people would care. Certain people that say that he doesn't give the best outcome or commentation on a fighter during his when he's working. So, I mean, I don't think people will miss him. Of course, they're probably going to throw somebody up there to replace him, but I think he's going to have to do some personal work and before he gets back up in the front like he was, and if not, have some type of other job in the UFC.
Yeah, they have people, a rotation of people who are up there. I don't think he's on every single show, so I'm definitely think that, there'll be somebody maybe getting more shows now. But I don't think, the UFC's reputation, I don't think they're going to fire him. I think they'll do kind of like a ghost suspension, not to announce anything officially, but have them off the panel and then slowly bring them back maybe like a year later, like Haymaker said. And hopefully he sits down and takes a look in the mirror and gets some help, because definitely not a good look, but we'll keep an eye out on what happens with him in the future. But before we get into the card this weekend, something that wasn't on my radar, I forgot about it because Steve brought it up to my attention a couple weeks ago, but then Admire did again today. Ken Green went to Adrian Broner's gym and messed up one his his fighter in his camp, Steve? What's his partner name? Dean or Great or something like that?
Yeah, and I think they have another person there named Bang, and I think he sparred in.
Okay, well, let's take a look at this and how this went down.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Upstairs. I told you the next one. We're just playing. We're just having fun. We're just having fun. We're just having fun. See, I told you. Baby, I'm just playing. What's happening, nigga? Let's go. I'm gonna earn every punch I get. Nothing. Shut up.
Nothing. That's it. Slow as fuck, gang.
No. Wake up. You're sorry. I told you shit. Oh, don't take that with you. There you go.
That's a good job. We just boxing.
You just come on. A crazy nigga. Come on. No, bitch.
Man.
Shut up.
So, two things. What do y'all think about Green going in there and beating up one of their partners and sparring? And then, do you think that MMA's stand-up is a little bit underrated? Because people always talk about how they get watched by boxers, but I don't know what the level of that dude is, but it looked like Green went in there and handled business. What are your thoughts on this, Admire?
I loved it, man, because I've been high on King Green his last couple fights, but I've never liked Adrian Broner, man. Never been a big fan of him, so I'm glad it was in his gym. I don't like the Dean the Great guy. I think it's funny that he was running his mouth and then threw one of his fighters in there to go against him and wouldn't do it himself. Now, the fighter that was in there against King Green, I guess, is a really good up-and-comer, supposed to be a great fighter. I think they said he's like 19-1, so I guess high-caliber fighter. And, Green was just putting it on him. I think it was awesome. Made the boxing world look kind of bad, I guess, if that guy's as good as they say. I think MMA boxing is underrated. We've seen a lot of MMA guys go to boxing and have some success. I'm not saying that they've won them all, but they've all had some sort of success. because it's just a little bit more unorthodox than what boxers are used to training against. And it's hard to kind of adjust to that. They're used to going against traditional boxers. And when you have a new style, they just have to adjust to it. So, I mean, you even see that, when it was Conor against Floyd, Conor landed a lot of shots because he was throwing different angles and stuff that boxers just don't do. So I think that MMA boxing it works for some people, and it's hard for some boxers to get down.
Steve?
Yeah, that was a good sparring match for King Green, and I've noticed in all areas on my feed. I mean, I play EA UFC 6, and you can just tell his popularity just boomed after that. As far as King Green, and also put AB's guy on the map from this happening. But I think it was a styles make fight. Of course, the boxer has the best skill, but since King Green is doing this a long time, and since boxing has to deal with MMA also, I think that was a situation of experience, knowing tricks, broken rhythm outside of boxing to, the sort of tricks that you get at KO if you were to know it. I mean, King Green's been doing it for so long. He was saying how his age too. What is he saying? He was 40 something or 40, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm pretty sure even with a pro boxer, he would know little off rhythm things or implement his style on a boxer. Especially his style is boxing. I'm pretty sure he would be better in certain experimental levels. And that's something maybe boxers won't admit. I mean, I remember seeing videos of Anderson Silva boxing. I think Freddie Roach was looking at him, and he was impressed on his boxing skills. I mean, who knows because he was getting a check from him, but I think boxers learned a lesson for King Green going there, and the age-old argument of who's better, boxing and MMA. And I will say this: everybody talks, well, everybody, when an MMA fighter gets in the room with boxers, especially the caliber of those talkers, I mean, you see the language changes. So I mean, the better sport as far as combat's not it's not an argument. I think just the argument is the MMA fighter had the better style that day.
Yeah, I agree with all the points that you said, and then also what you said, Admire. I think the gap between MMA boxing and boxing is definitely slimmer than vice versa than a boxer trying to go in the MMA world, because we've seen a few examples. Anderson Silva beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in a boxing match. Francis Ngannou looked good against Tyson Fury. Like you said, Conor showed glimpses in that Mayweather fight. Who else? I feel like it's a couple more examples. One of them missing. But yeah, it's been examples of boxers getting in there. I mean, MMA fighters getting in there and, holding their own with boxers. And vice versa, it's not quite the same story when, was it James Toney went in there where Randy Couture and got washed. So yep. I think the gap is closer, like MMA guys, because it's like, I know another example that just happened. Usyk versus Rico. Even though Rico was in MMA, he's still a kickboxer, and he threw Usyk off. Like, a lot of people thought Rico won that fight. So, yeah, I just think, the boxers aren't used to that style, like you said. I don't know if it was you, Steve, or Admire was saying the angles. It's just weird angles that MMA is coming from, and I just think that if an MMA fighter were trying to do it full time, it would get figured out. But if it was like, one-offs, they could definitely catch boxers and kind of off guard. So yeah, it was interesting seeing King Green going there and handling business like that. But before we get to this weekend's card, one more thing. Your boy Mark Zuckerberg is back at it again, Admire. Did you see this with him sparring with Marab?
What?
Yeah, let's take a quick look at this.
stop, don't stop. Oh.
Oh, this guy's tough. Rob made me take my shirt off and it looks more fighter. Beautiful.
Let's go. Firefight. Stay in it. Yep. Firefight. Let's go. Let's go. Go. Come on. Let's do this every day. Every day. It's fun.
So I know that wasn't too entertaining for our audio listeners, but for the video watchers, what's your thoughts on this, Amir Zuckerberg? He's been.
What's it for? Why'd they do that?
I have no clue, but what do you think about his technique?
I mean, it wasn't real. Was it that for a commercial or for?
I think he just posted a reel on. It wouldn't be Twitter. That's where it was on, but it was maybe IG.
I mean, they had to be doing that for a reason. I mean, it was fake fighting. Like, it was fake all the way.
He was sparring. It's not like he's like really fighting. People spar for exercise and stuff.
I don't know. I don't know. It didn't look right to me, I guess.
Huh. What do you think about this, Steve?
I think he's another PR stunt for Zuckerberg. I don't have my opinion as far as like how the dude is, but I mean, I don't know. He just reminds me of Napoleon Dynamite for some reason, and I don't mean to be offensive, but I can't take him serious. I mean, he looks awkward when he's sparring too. If somebody would really spar, I think he would one of those. They might know a few techniques, but if they get bopped too hard, they'll shell up. It's cool. They have a little video game I played, Virtual Fighter ring outs and stuff. I mean, sparring on the whole stage, and the first thing I thought in the middle of that, I'm assuming ocean or sea. I'm like, man, that mat has to be hot if they hit the ground. It's beaming in the sun.
Yeah, I mean, you said it looked off, but like I said, it's sparring. A lot of people like to train and spar. He's been, dabbling in the MMA world for a few years now. The Apex is named after Meta, but I just think that how Kim Jong-un, he's a basketball fan, and they get players to run games with him. And I heard they basically just let him score. I think it's just one of those situations. Like, of course, he was sparring just to, probably get exercise in. But I'm sure Marab was going like 0.05% at him.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's just something about him. Like, I don't know. Just looking at him, he looks like a nerd. And
I mean, he is a nerd.
I know, but then the way you could tell Marab's letting him win, and it just looks so fake. I don't know. It just bothers me. Like, it just horrible acting. Like, I guess I hate horrible acting.
Yeah, I'm sure Dana White hooked it up, they're buddies, but I just thought it was funny. It popped up on my news feed. But I guess shout out to Mark Zuckerberg and bringing some type of attention to the sport, whatever that was. Like we said, the technique was kind of sloppy, but it is what it is. But let's quit pussyfooting around and let's get to this card. This weekend, UFC 330, going down in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And not going to lie, this is probably one of the weaker cards of the year, but, that's what we do. We do the numbered cards. So let's run through it. Early prelims, we got Jeremiah Wells versus Mitabek Orbai. We got Neil Magny in the early prelims, so he's kind of in the mud a little bit, versus Ramiz Brahma. And then also in the early prelims, we got Rafael versus Lucas Fernando. You're gonna check out Magny, Admire, if you're around?
Yeah, if I'm not busy, I'll check it out. I'm always good for a Neil Magny fight.
How about you, Steve?
He's not here. He's it's not too reliable for me to. Yeah, I'll catch it, but not a fighter that I'm too reliable on to watch. He has to be fighting somebody up and coming on a tear for me to watch him. He's just not that type of fighter for me.
I thought you were a Neil Magny guy.
Probably Jeff Neal. Probably not Neil Magny.
Oh man.
I always get Jeff Neal, the Neils. But yeah, I think it's Jeff Neal. I definitely like Jeff Neal over Neil Magny.
Well, if I'm around, I'll take a look at it. I'm definitely intrigued with Mitterbeck fighting too. He's one of those guys that usually puts on exciting fights. I remember he had that knockout on Jack Hermanson. I think I talked to you about it when it happened, Steve. This was back at that fight night, so that'll be on my radar as well. Let's jump into the prelims that are going down. In the middleweight division, we have Vicente Luque versus Tresean Gore. Also in the middleweight division, we got Dante Johnson versus Eric McConaughey. And then lightweight division, we got Jalen Turner back at it versus Kai Fernandez. And then to top this one off, we got Chide Njokuani versus Joel Alvarez. Well, y'all have your eyes tuned on these prelims.
Oh, Jalen Turner for sure.
Jalen Turner.
Yeah, Luque too. Luque is always good.
What about you, Steve?
Yeah, I'll definitely catch a Vincent Luque, and it's not as a problem, but I just start to memorize fighters, and I think Tresean Gore, he had a little a firefight or a war of a hell of a fight his last fight. So I mean, anything that entertains a stylistic fight, I'll be interested to watch. Can't watch nothing with no action. I think those two will bring it. And I mean, Jalen Turner, always been a fan. He did his brief retirement. I think he was on fire before, just got a couple of losses. So I think he's always viewable and still in the area of competitive and competition.
I'm also intrigued with the Njokuani fight. I mean, he's a gamer, even though he like kind of loses some and wins some, but he should put it on a pretty exciting fight as well. So that does it for not the early prelims, the regular prelims. But let's get into the main card, fellas. Going into this card, the records Admire 22-20. I'm 28-14, and Steve is 21-21. So to kick this one off, we got a veteran in there, Edson Barbosa. This is in the lightweight division, facing Esteban Ribovics. Who you got in this one, Admire?
Man, Edson Barbosa made it back to the main card. Man.
Yeah.
But he's a huge underdog. He is a plus 425 underdog. Esteban is a minus 575 favorite. With odds like that, you can't really go against the favorite, man. So I got to go with Esteban Ribovics.
Who you got, Steve?
Excuse me. Looking at his record lately, it's not cool to win off, but to be fair, his losses have been with people who damn near was close to title contention or a veteran. So I don't think he's out of it. But his last win was 2023. So I mean, I'm gonna have to go with Ribovics. I mean, I hate doing it. I've learned I can't be going off my favorite fighter, man. I have to analyze where they're at, man. He hasn't been of course, classic Edson Barbosa, you never take away from, but it's not the same guy. I have to let certain fighters go. And my generation say they don't have it anymore. So Ribovics, I'll go with him.
Yeah, I think the Edson Barbosa with the wheel kick, that was all the way back in 2012 or something like that. I know Ribovics has a loss. This is recent. I didn't realize Gamrot fought so close together. That's probably why he lost this past weekend, because Gamrot just fought Ribovics back in April, and then as we know, this past weekend, Sal Keel choked him out. So bad loss for Gamrot. But besides that, Ribovics, he's been trading back and forth, wins and losses. But before that, he was on that 3-fight win streak and beat McKinney with that head kick. I know you remember that one, Steve.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Ribovics as well. You know, those odds are pretty wide. So most of the time they know what they talk about there in Vegas. But let's move on to the next fight. This is in the middleweight division. We got Mansour Abdul Malik versus Dustin Stolfus. Who you got in this one, Meyer?
Well, this one's got some crazy odds on it as well. The Dustin Stolfus guy is a plus 455 underdog, and Abdul Malik is a minus 625 favorite. I mean, that is a very wide margin. So, I mean, it's hard to go against the favorite on this one as well, not knowing much about either one of these guys. So I got to go with the Abdul Malik guy.
Like you said, minus 500. Jeez. And Abdul, he doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. So take that for what it's worth. Steve, who you got?
I think I'll go with
Stolfus is coming off 2 losses as well. One against Gastelum, one against Ruzabov.
I was looking at it. I might go with Stolfus just because he has more decisions than Malik, but that one submission out there is just giving me another skill set that he could use to probably win the fight. It seems like Malik only had decisions or KOs, and it seemed like Dustin has some KOs itself. So I mean, trying to do MMA math, I think Dustin might pull this off if it goes to the ground. If he has, I have to see his fights. If he goes to the ground as far as grappling, I'll go with Malik.
Are you switching it? You're switching it to Malik.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I just can't go against odds like that. More times than less, when the odds of that favorite wide, and it's usually the minus fighter that's winning. So I'm going with Abdul Malik as well. So far, we have all picked the same fighters, but let's talk about the last 3 fights. Flyweight division, we got Charles Johnson back at it versus Jose Ochoa. Who you got in this one, Amar? No odds for this one. At least the page I'm looking at. Are there odds? Are there odds for what you're looking at, Amar?
I'm changing pages. Yeah, I'm not seeing any odds on it.
And like they Wikipedia is usually pretty accurate when it comes to the fight cards, even though they're inaccurate other shit. But they don't even have this listed as an announced fight on Wikipedia. It's got still as proposed fight. The rundown I'm looking at came from Bleacher Report. Yeah, no odds on CBS Sports either. So,
well, I'm gonna have to go in blind then. Well, I'm gonna go with Jose Ochoa on this one.
Ochoa doesn't have a Wikipedia page, but I've seen him fight before, but I just can't remember off the top of my head who he went against in the last few fights that he had. So he went against Clayton Carpenter and won. He beat Cody Durden. Maybe that's the fight I was thinking about. Me watching him. He beat Cody Durden. Huh. All right. So you got Ochoa. Who you got, Steve?
What's the other dude's name?
Charles Johnson. We've definitely covered some of his fights before. He has the rat tail. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, a little weird. Yeah. Oh man, I think he got a good win, didn't he? His last fight.
No, he lost. He lost against Usu. This was back in June. He just fought, man. He's probably taking fight so close. That'll definitely be a way to get CTE. Yeah, he fought on the Fiziev card back in June, and he's back at it already. But he beat Bruno Gustavo da Silva back in March, so he's fighting a lot this year.
Yeah,
he beat Lonnie Kavanaugh. That was a fight people didn't expect him to win. I think that might be the one you're thinking of.
Yeah, and I think he also caught somebody else significantly, like KO'd him.
Oh, he beat Josh Van. He beat Josh Van.
That's who it was. The person that caught Joshua Van. That's what was lingering in my head. But that was early in career. He had ups and downs since then.
About 2 years ago, not too long ago.
Yeah, I think he's a scrappy dude. I just go with what I know. I'll throw it in the air with this one. I go with Chad Johnson, right?
Charles
Johnson.
Uh-huh.
I guess I'll go with the person with my last name.
There we go. Yeah, I think I'll go with Johnson as well, just because he seems like he usually gets up for these big spots, and he's like a journeyman, but puts on pretty exciting fights. I want to say I saw him fight in person, if I'm not. He was on that St. Louis card. This was back in May. I'm like, pretty sure I saw him in person. I think he actually is from the St. Louis area too. Yep, he's from St. Louis. So I'll go with the home state guy, and going with Johnson as well. But let's get into the co-main and the main event. For your women's strawweight title, you got your champion, Mackenzie Dern, finally defending her title against Jillian Robertson. What are your thoughts on this one, Admire?
This is a closer fight odds-wise. They got Dern at a -225 favorite, and they got Robertson at a +185 underdog. So much closer compared to the other fights that we've seen. But I think this is going to be an easy fight for Dern. I think Dern's just on a roll, been doing better every fight. Going to be too strong.
Steve?
Yeah, I mean, we have surprises in MMA, but I mean, I think Mackenzie Dern is more of a higher caliber fighter, more dangerous, grappling, submission. I mean, unless she catches her, she's on her off, or has some type of weird body feeling from cutting, I think hands down Mackenzie Dern has this easily.
So I got Dern as well. I mean, anything can happen, at this caliber fighter. But what's up with UFC kind of giving Dern a layup with her first defense? We've talked about it before. They've been dying for her to get the title, but it's three other people ranked ahead of Jillian Robertson. That's not, as far as this division, not a big sexy name. Is Weili injured or something? Am I, or like, what's up with? Like I said, UFC kind of giving her a layup for this first fight. Anything can happen on paper, because I don't want to disrespect Robertson. Anything can happen in there, as we've seen time and time before. But on paper, what's up with this matchup?
Yeah, I think they wanted to throw Dern a softball. They really wanted her in this spot. I think they want her name to grow, so they didn't want to, they didn't want her to be one of those one defense and lost it type people. They wanted her to be in the spotlight for a minute. So I think it's just a layup.
What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, I think it's a layup fight. I think off the top of my head, if we put down the cards of fighters up in that top 5, or close to it, I think we could have entertained a better fight for her first title defense. I mean, we've seen title fights go in between number 1 and the number 10 fighter, and not say she doesn't deserve it because I guess she's been winning, but I know for other fighters, I mean, but looking at it, people who they fought, Santos, and just speaking of Taylor Santos, I know she had one fight after who's a champion in
Talking about Valentina?
Valentina. Yeah, she had a very good fight. I mean, I would have enjoyed that fight for her first title fight. This doesn't too much hit home. I'm looking for the calibers of fighters Robertson's fought, and I mean, she beat a veteran Watterson. I mean, that's about it. Somebody who you think has skill. I think her name Tabitha Ritchie. She won that. That was 2023, but I don't think she's gotten any good competition since then. I mean, Lemos was the part of the talks, but I mean, she even's losing too. I mean, I think she's a tough fighter, but she's not even a high caliber fighter. So I think, yeah, layup.
He's saying Lemos. Well, she lost to Lemos, so and Andrade. I mean, she was only on a 2-fight, as far as Dern goes. Dern was only on a 2-fight winning streak before she got the title shot. So I don't know if it's the death of the strawweight division is kind of withering a little bit, or I don't know, maybe, sometimes styles make matchups, but I don't know. She better win though, because the MMA guys might be listening to this and we all say it's a layup and watch Robertson go in there and start her or something. That'd be crazy. But be interesting to see how it plays out. And I know they were trying to drum up something a little bit of back and forth, because I read something where it's like Robertson said Dern never liked her, and then Dern was like, I never met you before, or I don't even know you. So whatever. Maybe I'll watch the UFC YouTube series where they watch the fighters, where they do the pre-fight things. Embedded. I might watch the Embedded to see if there's anything behind that. But yeah, all three of us got during this one. So let's move on to the main event. In the welterweight division, we got Islam Makhachev, your champion. Is this his first title defense, if I'm not mistaken? Since winning it? Yeah, his first title defense.
I think so.
Because his debut, he beat JDM. So his first title defense against the challenger, Ian Machado Gary. What are your thoughts on this one, Amar?
Well, the odds makers got it wide on this one as well. We got Islam at a -340 favorite, Ian Gary at a +270 underdog.
Not too bad.
Isn't this Ian Gary's second time fighting for the title? Or did he only lose a title eliminator last time?
Did he fight for the title before? I want to say he might have faced.
I thought he did.
Fought for the title. Yeah. He lost to JD. Hold on, he lost to JDM if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that one. But they've been high on Gary. It seems like they've been trying to pencil in him as the next champion. I don't know why, because I don't know. He's a good fighter, but it seems like, I don't know, they're trying to spoon feed him as champion. And it was just an eliminator. He never fought for the title against Shavkat. He lost that eliminator. Am I?
Okay, that's what I thought. I was just making sure. So yeah, like you were saying, the UFC's been trying to pump this dude, and they shot him up there to the title eliminator, and he lost that against Shavkat. And that is kind of, to me, basically a preview of what's going to happen in this fight. He couldn't really deal with Shavkat, being all over him. Just the pressure that he was putting on, kind of got out wrestled in it. in pretty much everywhere the fight went. Everything that Islam could do, but Islam does better. So if Ian Gary couldn't keep up with Shavkat, he has really no chance against Islam Makhachev. So easy pick for me, Islam Makhachev all day.
Okay, now we watch a lot of fights. I can't remember exactly how that Shavkat. I think didn't Gary hold his own in that fight? I want to say that was like one time we said, like, all right, Shavkat is just not this destroyer of everybody, because at that time Shavkat was on like roll, and I remember Gary not looking too bad in that fight, if I'm not mistaken.
Gary didn't look horrible, but Shavkat made him look normal. He made Shavkat look normal, but he couldn't beat Shavkat. So there's no way that he's going to do anything to Islam Makhachev.
Interesting. What do you think, Steve?
If I can't remember, I think that might have been Rachmanov's. Wasn't that sort of like a firefight or a tough? They were both digging it out to win. Like he was holding his own, getting back up, and I think it wasn't Romanov. He was even injured on the face, if I'm not mistaken. Like took damage. Yeah, Romanov, he's a good dude as far as like he did that to Ian Gary, but you know what? And I'm always thinking of somebody's their body frame, and if their frame carries over, and then when fight night comes, I'm like, damn, they look. I guess I was wrong. They look the same. But what I'm trying to say is, Islam seems to be a smaller frame than an Ian Gary, because Ian Gary is on protest. If y'all remember, about the same height, size. And I don't think Islam has fought anybody as good and as tall with as big as a body frame to, deny takedowns, a longer person to grab for those wrestling takedowns for like double legs or single legs. I think we might see a surprise. I'll go with Ian Gary.
I'm not mad at that pick. Both of these guys only lost once, both in the UFC. I didn't realize Makhachev was in the UFC before UFC 200, but it was his second fight in UFC. He got knocked out, so it was a long time ago. We saw Rachmanov back in 2024 to end, beat Gary. Yeah, I think this fight might be a little bit closer than people think it may be. Sounds like you think Makhachev's going to get a comfortable win. He might have to actually dig deep. And I know this isn't like a apples to apples comparison, but we saw it kind of catch up with Hamzat. I think him facing Sean Strickland, facing a guy who's like a true middleweight. And both of them were at welterweight at one point, but I don't know. I think we might start to finally see the remnants of Islam coming up in weight and fighting a bigger guy. And I think that might give him trouble. Or he could just dominate in wrestling. Who knows? But I'm not going to go out and fully pick him like Steve did, but I think this is going to be a good back and forth fight. I'm still picking Makhachev until he proves me wrong, because we hadn't seen him lose in over 10 years. So I think this is a pretty intriguing fight. So, like, besides the Rachmanov loss, what don't you like about Gary's game?
I don't know. He just, he's ranked real high. I mean, he's got a lot of great wins. The UFC's pumping him. I don't remember ever being like, oh man, I'm ready for an Ian Gary fight. Like I don't know, man. I don't know if I just haven't watched enough of his fights, but we watch all the fights. I just don't remember ever being really impressed with him.
Yeah, I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit, but because like I'm not too enthralled or thrilled with his type of fighting style. Like I said, I don't really get excited for his fights. But I mean, that one against Protest, like that's still impressive. Like you said, he's got the wins, and even with Bilal, a lot of people don't like Bilal's fighting style, but Gary went in there and took care of business. I definitely still think they're forcing him down our throats because, I mean, but he's kind of backing it up by beating these people besides Rachmanov, but nobody's beating Shavkat. So I don't know. I could see this going either way. And I don't know. It's probably best served for the recap show, but is this kind of like a crossroads fight for Islam at this point? Not really a crossroads fight, but like a fight to kind of like stamp his approval and say that he's really a welterweight, Amber.
Yeah, because I mean, if he loses this, yeah, I think he has to go back down, chase the belt back down there.
What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, that's what I think. Because, I mean, what, lightweight? And then on top of that, wasn't the last lightweight championship fight a Moicano? They threw a Moicano. I think it was off a cancellation or something.
The last fight that Islam? Yeah, it was Renato Moicano.
Yeah, man. People still feel salty about that. Him getting that win, and I guess he fought Poirier, but what was that? Was that attaining the title, or did he already defended it?
He defended it.
And to me, and that was only one defense, right?
No, he tied the record for most lightweight defenses at 4 before vacating it. He defended it against Volkanovski twice, Poirier and Moicano, and he won it off of Oliveira, the vacant title off of Oliveira.
I mean, I guess, yeah. Depends. I mean, he better win. I think he has to win on very dominate, or a very good dominant win to even fathom him to stay in the welterweight division. If he doesn't stay in the welterweight division and get a dominant win, especially if he loses, yes, I think go down back to lightweight.
Yeah, so like I said, I think it's going to be a pretty close fight, but we got to see what happens when they actually lock them in the cage. But that brings us to the end of the show. We'll be back next week to talk about all the results of this card, and we'll explore and see what happens with this main event and see options for both fighters. But make sure to follow us on all social media platforms. Make sure to check out the YouTube page, like, subscribe, and that'll do it for us here on Haymaker Combat Sports. Until next time, be safe out there. Later.
Hit the takedown, ground and pound, that was from the top. Heel hooking on one plot, I leave you in the knot. Pound for pound, been the greatest, sitting on the top. Man, I'm laughing at the fools who think they coming for the spot. You ain't got